Pleasant morning to each and everyone. My name is Maidi Vibot, taking up Bachelor of Secondary Education. We're given a task to do TED Talk, and the topic that I choose is violence. How violence affect the people and how violence affect the environment itself. Now let's talk about violence. What is violence? Violence is the use of physical force or power against oneself to another person or against a group in the community that results injury or even death. I did some research about the violence, and there are three categories of violence. And the three categories of violence are: first, self-direct violence; second, interpersonal violence; third, collective violence. When we say self-direct, it is the violence that includes suicidal thoughts or actions that forms of self-harm. The term fatal suicidal behavior is often to use for suicidal act that results in death. Some people think that killing themselves can solve their problems, but not. If they die, it will be worse. The people around them will suffer too. Committing suicide is not a key or the solution to solve the problem that we have. Suicidal or suicide can't help us to solve our problem. It's all about suicide. It's all about yourself, hurting yourself. When we say interpersonal, it is the act of violence that occur between the family members, intimate partners, or between the individuals, whether they know each other or not. The interpersonal violence includes child maltreatment, youth violence, and some forms of sexual violence. Collective violence. It is an instrumental use of violence by people who identify themselves as a member of a group against another group or set of individuals in order to achieve their political, economic, and social objectives. Collective violence includes war, terrorism, and violent political conflict between or within the states. Terrorism. It is the act of violence against civilians and the states to create fear in order to achieve their political goals. Any act that creates bodily harm or even death to civilians. Now, here is the questions. What are the causes of violence? Why do violence exist? There is a lot of questions that we want to answer. Let me share you one thing about my experience of violence. I witnessed two people who's fighting and stabbed themselves. Seeing them wounded with a lot of bloods. After seeing those kind of violence, seeing two people wounded with a lot of bloods, it really affected me, my health. I was depressed, anxiety, I'm scared, I have fear of blood and wound, and I can say that It's really affect me because of what I witness. I'm scared of blood. I have fear of blood. Wound. When I saw wound or blood, I collapse. The violence has a negative impact to those who experience and who witness it. Several psychological disorders including post-traumatic stress, anxiety, and depression. These are the things that we can see to those people who witness and who experience this kind of violence. Bipolar disorder are common in the victims of violence. Now, what will happen to the environment when all people use violence? When all people will use violence, there's no peace at all. Because we all know that violence is very dangerous. It might kill people and it will ruin the relationship of the environment and its people. We can see those kinds of environment wherein there's no peace, always war, always fighting, killing, and those kinds of environment wherein all people there will not scared to kill, will not scared to harm people around them. Violence is very dangerous. In order for us to have peace, we should avoid violence. We can prevent the violence by creating a program that can help the youth and the children by educating them, giving them some knowledge about the effect of violence into their lives, the environment itself. And for me, the most successful program we can found in school. Why? Because by the help of the teachers or educators, the learners can learn how to act and how to avoid violence. Wherein the educators are guiding the students, the learners, because by the guidance of the teacher, the learners learn how to act with manners and respect each and every one. And in order for us to avoid violence, we should respect each and every one. Know how to act with manners and always be knowledgeable enough about the violence. Once again, my name is Maidi V. Boat, taking up Bachelor and Secondary Education. Hope you like my topic about violence.